All right, guys, welcome to Into the Fatherverse, episode 5. We're recording on Sunday, February 28th. I am your host, Trey Stevens, joined by Tim Rose, Fred Metcalf, and Clay Vendes. We're going to start off the episode by reminding everybody to go to our Twitter at Fatherverse. Facebook is Into the Fatherverse. We're at YouTube at Into the Fatherverse. And our email is intothefatherverse@gmail.com. If you could, please like, subscribe, share, leave a good review, anything you can to help us out. We're some poor guys no, we're not really trying to make money, but it would be nice. We're going to start off with Tim. You been doing anything this week? I know you have been incredibly busy.
No, not really. I've restarted Community. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that show. It's a great show. My oldest daughter has just started My Hero Academia, and I've been playing a little bit of Fortnite with them because that's all they play, unfortunately. I don't mind Fortnite, but it's not my thing. But that's it. I mean, that's the very little I get. I spend it with them. So,
yeah, I don't blame you at all. All right, Fred, you been playing anything?
Nothing really new. I've been playing Smite and RuneScape. I know a lot, just because I've been taking advantage of their double EXP weekends they've been having going on. Smite had the new God reveal, so they did a week-long ×2 experience and worshiper event, and now they're doing a ×3 event this weekend.
Oh, wow.
So that's basically all I've been doing playing wise.
Have you tried Tiamat yet?
Oh yeah, I'm already starting to get masteries on it.
Yeah, how is it? I haven't actually got in.
She is a very strange mage. Probably the tankiest mage. Well, I don't know if it's the tankiest mage, but one of the tankiest mages that they've made. Her kit is ridiculous. She has like 15 abilities because she's got 2 stances. She's either flying or she's on the ground. When she's flying, her one is basically a charged autocannon. So as it levels up, you get more bursts.
Oh, okay.
And it I don't know, like if you just get hit by one of them, it doesn't really do any damage. But if you charge it up all the way and you just rail someone with like 15 of them, you'll melt somebody. The 2 is a stun, so it's a triangle area on the ground, and it detonates twice. The first one just kind of does a flash damage, and if someone gets hit by the second one, it stuns them and does a lot of damage. Your third ability is how you switch stances. So if you're in flying stance, it'll dive to the ground and kind of stun the area. And then her ultimate in flying stance, she can summon one of 3 minions or something. So like she can either put a little portal on the ground and just like these little tentacle minions come out and just kind of do annoying damage in the area. Or she can spawn a kind of like a juggernaut minion, just one big beefy one that'll charge enemies. Or she can spawn a tornado that'll like track and follow the enemy, and after a couple seconds, it'll knock everyone up in the air. That's just her air stance. When she's in ground stance, her one it's kind of a cone damage. It does decent amount of damage, but the perk is it can execute minions and jungle mobs. So if they get low enough health, she can cast it, and what she'll do, if they've got a buff, she will actually eat the buff and spawn a second buff. So she can either pick up 2 buffs, or she can, grab a buff and drop one for someone else. And I think that's crazy OP. They're probably going to nerf that or something. Her 2 in ground is a knock up, so it just sends out like a little shockwave, kind of like Reinhardt's Earth Shatter, and knocks people up. her 3, and that one's a disengage, and she jumps back up into the flying stance. And her ultimate is she does a little like spinny thing. Like she basically just like spins in a circle, summons kind of like fire, and it does a little bit of damage, knock up, and it it's a soft CC or silence, I guess, and sets people on fire for a little bit of damage. But I know that's super complicated because she's got so many freaking abilities, and I see a nerf coming in the future. When she's in ground, she's tanky. She's stupid tanky. She's got a passive where like as she does damage, she builds up damage mitigation to the point where if you manage to build your stacks up all the way, you can dive into a team fight and you can go 5v1. You're not doing any damage, but they're not killing you, so you can just literally just walk in, have the entire team like focus you, and just shrug it off like it's nothing.
She sounds really cool.
She is. She's not like a traditional mage. Her damage is okay. She's not great. She's not bad. She's just okay. If you're really good with her and you get the setup just right, you can secure kills with her. But she's not going to be, Scylla 1-2 tapping people. Mm-hmm. She's just, I don't know. I think the biggest hit I've gotten with her is like 500, and that's going full attack power and pen. In Scylla, you build her right, you can start dropping people for 2,000-3,000 with her 2. So, it's got a lot more sustain and less burst damage.
Oh, okay.
I really like her though. She's probably one of my favorite gods that have come out, because usually when they come out, they are broken. They are crazy broken. Like Danzaburo, I think that's how you pronounce the name. It was the last god that came out. Still broken to this day. Absolutely broken. I went like 25-2 with him last night, getting 2 pentakills, and like you don't do that in that game.
Yeah, every time I play, I see somebody using it.
Yeah, because he's broken right now. But anyway, other than that, watched WandaVision. We've got a couple shows that we watch every week. WandaVision's one of them. The Rookie. Then there's 911 and 911 Lone Star. Mm-hmm. Those are kind of the shows that we make sure to watch every week together.
We're actually a couple episodes behind on 911, and she didn't like Lone Star, which, I like Rob Lowe, but the show itself, I think we watched 2 episodes and it was all right.
So Lone Star, it gets a lot better. I think with that one it was started out very low budget.
Oh, okay.
Because they were just trying to do a spin-off. Because 911 is actually very successful, and I really like it.
911's really good.
The writers in 911 are also phenomenal. Mm-hmm. In 911 Lone Star, a lot of it feels super forced.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's just because like the writers aren't the best. But as the show has continued and I guess picked up popularity, they've upped the budget or something, because the show has gotten a lot better.
What's that about?
What was that, Clay?
What is it about? I have never heard of it.
You got it.
I was going to say, 911 Lone Star, or the regular one. The regular one is based in California, and basically or LAFD, Los Angeles Fire Department, is the main focus. But basically, it just follows a 911 dispatcher, the Los Angeles Fire Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, and how they, just kind of their lives. It's not like a reality show. It's a drama-y TV show. So it just kind of
like a Chicago Fire kind of deal.
Yeah, literally just like that, except much better. And it follows all of their lives. So it's actually really good, and I think it might be one of the first shows of its kind that doesn't just have like a single focus on one element. It focuses on the entire operation as a whole. So it's actually really good. It covers from the police department side, the dispatcher side, to the fire department side, and then it also it covers their personal lives as well, so how the job impacts them and some of the real life issues that people face that are in those jobs. It's actually really, really good, and it's very well written, and I really like it. 911 Lone Star is based in Texas, and same exact concept, but nowhere near as good. It's gotten a lot better. So, I say give it, if you're going to watch Lone Star, give it a couple episodes. It starts to pick up, I guess, as the writers got their footing. But the first few episodes, not too good.
Yeah, and I can't touch on Lone Star, but I know the original. They touch on some very tough topics and deliver very well. I mean, I won't spoil much, but one of the main characters for a while is married to a very abusive husband, and they touch on that really well because obviously it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. But
yeah, that's one thing
deliver.
I really like about it. They deliberately talk about very sensitive, very taboo in the mainstream media topics. They make it a point to put those front and center, and most shows try to avoid that, but 911's like, nah, we're just gonna make an entire episode based on this one thing that no one wants to talk about, and they do it really, really well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Is that on Netflix?
No, it's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a
I'm
Fox
not watching
show.
it there.
So Clay, what have you been up to?
Not much, really. Haven't had time to play a lot of stuff this week, so what I've been doing is reading more comics.
Let's definitely get into it.
Yeah, like because I can just take out my phone and spend like 20 minutes reading a volume. It's quite quick. So this week,
or you could play RuneScape. You can do that on your phone too. Just saying.
I have it on my phone, but I have to make an account and stuff. I haven't really tried it.
Just read the comics.
I just have the old version of RuneScape, so I don't have the one you play anyway.
First, get rid of the iPhone, then you can get it.
It was a gift. I was planning to get in a Samsung Note, but I got this gift, so I guess I'm stuck with Apple.
First world problems.
So Clay, I see you've been reading Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, I actually read Volume 1. Yeah, because Volume 2 is not included on the subscription. So I read Volume 1 of Marvel Zombies, and then I got the zombie bug. So I started also reading DCeased, which is the zombie, the DC zombie thing, and they are very, very different.
They are incredibly different. So I read DCeased as it was coming out. I believe they're still doing tie-in stuff. I haven't read. DCeased is very, very serious. Marvel Zombies is not.
Is not.
I highly recommend with Marvel Zombies, if you liked Volume 1, read Volume 2. I didn't read past that. So Volume 1 and Volume 2 are actually written by Robert Kirkman, who is the writer of The Walking Dead, among a lot of other things. After that, after Volume 2, he actually stopped. Somebody else picked it up. So I haven't read after that, but 2 is very good as well. If you liked 1, they definitely continue the goofy storyline through the second one.
And I mean, if it's the same writer for both, it's basically like volume 3. If it has another writer, is basically something else. Like it's not part of the vision of the guy that made the whole thing.
Right. So he definitely at the end of Volume 2 kind of wraps it up where you could see if they didn't make any more, it'd be totally fine. But yeah, you can tell he made The Walking Dead a very serious book.
Yeah.
Which if you haven't read it, it's really good as well. But then he kind of said, hey, what if Walking Dead was just a complete joke? Let's make that.
Yeah. The thing I wasn't expecting, it's usually when you watch a zombie thing, you follow the survivors, right? That's those are the main characters. And in this one, he was like, no, the main characters are going to be the zombies. And if you haven't read it, in Marvel Zombies, the zombies are not mindless. They can speak, they can think. They get clouded by the hunger they have, but so they they are sometimes irrational and stuff like that. But when they just ate, they have clarity, so they can even for example, they would the ones that are scientists and stuff can make machines and things like that would help them get more food. So what they do is they follow them, and it's basically a focus on dark humor, very, very dark humor. It's definitely more gross than the DC one, because there's a lot of I don't know, rotting bodies and a lot of falling body parts, and it's kind of like it's very, very dark and very grim, but in a fun, lighthearted kind of way.
Yeah. So if nobody has read it, like Clay was saying, it's basically the main superheroes. A lot of the main superheroes from Marvel get turned into zombies, and I mean, they're definitely not afraid to cut off somebody's head and just carry it around for for a good couple weeks.
Yeah, and when at the first issue they already ate most if not all of the population, because they get together, and since they all have superpowers, they make sure to pick every single country in the world and leave no one behind.
Yeah.
So yeah, and as I said, you see their point of view and their their line of thinking of how they are gonna get their next meal.
Yeah. Whereas DCeased is more along the normal trope for zombies, following the human survivors, and I guess some superhero survivors as well. But it's
heroes.
Yeah, and that's a good read. But I would definitely say Marvel Zombies is a fun read.
Yeah, I really like DCeased, but it's more of what you would expect. Like if I tell you there's a superhero zombie comic, you would probably think something along the lines of DCeased, which is superheroes are getting infected and humans are getting infected too, and the superheroes that are left are trying to isolate themselves with another survivors, and all of that, all of the sorrow, all of the desperation that comes with zombie movies and zombie comics. You get that on DCeased. They have a couple of different tropes in it. For example, the virus is spread to electronics. So it's basically an equation. So if you see it, you get infected, and so you can pass it around like a regular zombie virus, or you can just if you see this equation that people are sharing online, you get infected as well. So, but yeah, it's more focused on the superheroes trying to gather whatever survivors are left and trying to either leave the planet or create safe havens for people to coexist.
It goes some places. I'll tell you that it definitely. I got bored of it.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
I mean, I read the main run. The main run wasn't bad. It was all the tie-ins that they started doing. It went from
I haven't read that.
Hey, let's do this little mini series to, oh wow, this mini series did really well, let's do a bunch of other crap. And those I kind of got bored with.
Yeah, I read volume 1, and I think the ending it had, it wrapped up things very well. It was left open to possible sequels, and they did. Actually, right now there's DCeased Dead Planet, I think it's called, which is the second volume of the main. Like, it's basically the sequel, but they made a lot of prequels that with other heroes happening during the same during the first volume, but in other parts of the planet, which don't seem very interesting. So I would recommend just reading volume 1, and I haven't read volume 2, but I don't feel like reading it anyway, because it's like 50 years in the future or something like that. It's a few decades in the future, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The volume 1 stands on its own.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, they're both fun reads. And like you, I've actually been reading a lot more comics than usual. I also subscribed to Comixology for just 1 month so I could get caught up on the current Transformers run. They had like half of the issues part of the subscription. Then I bought the rest during the sale. Very good. Anybody's Transformers fan, which I know you guys aren't, and I'm going to talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but it's very good. They're definitely doing some really neat things. I did buy the first issue of Transformers Beast Wars that they just released for Beast Wars 25th anniversary. I haven't read it yet. I know last week I said I didn't like the CGI of Beast Wars, but I'm not gonna lie, I wish this comic kind of had the art style of that. Whereas,
why?
It's just
I
hate
ugly,
watching
man.
it, but it's so fun.
How can you like that? It looks awful.
Well, yeah, whatever. Okay.
I like it because I watched it when it came out, and at the time, it wasn't terrible.
Is that it?
No.
Nostalgia?
Yeah.
Whereas this comic has the IDW art style that all their other comics have, which I'm okay with. Again, I haven't read it. It may be trash. It may be good. I'm excited for that. Let's see.
I'm actually, since you have the subscription, I don't know. Have you read Invincible?
I have read like the first 3 or 4 volumes.
Yeah, every single volume it's free on.
Oh, is it? And
it's
I know
included with subscription. Yeah.
They announced the TV show. I'm not sure when it'll be coming out.
There's an animated TV show coming out, so it actually, I'm planning on reading the comics since they are all included. Yeah.
You're just on a Robert Kirkman kick, aren't you?
Yeah, like he does very, very good stuff.
He does really well.
Yeah. So, and I've heard really, really great things about this comic. So I'm probably gonna read all of the volumes since they are all free.
I think my favorite of his is probably The Walking Dead, but Invincible's right there. It's very good.
Yeah, I've been keeping away from The Walking Dead because it's bad, because I know it's good. I know it's better than the show, but it's so long, like, and it's still going, I think, right?
No, it ended.
Oh, okay. How many volumes?
Volumes, I don't know. Single issues, I want to say 150.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
I mean, it's gonna take you. I actually just read it all not long ago when I got the bundle on Humble Bundle, and it's definitely worth it.
By the way, this is very addicting. Like, I hadn't read a single comic like 2 weeks ago, and now I've read like 10 different volumes of different kind of comics.
Wait till I get you hooked on Transformers.
Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I'll maybe read Transformers versus the Terminator. Just because it sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, you'll probably read the Transformers My Little Pony crossover.
Is that a thing, or?
No, yeah, there definitely is. Yeah. Other than comics, I've been playing a couple games. The first, I don't know if you guys use EA's Origin client. I'm not gonna lie, about bashed my head into this desk the other day. I decided to re-download Mass Effect 2, which I think I actually have on Steam, but it let me tie to Origin because Steam doesn't have the DLC available individually, I believe is what happened. So I bought them on Origin. Long story short, I re-downloaded the game, tried downloading all the DLC, and it kept getting frozen. It just wouldn't download. So what happened is, oh my God, it was so annoying. I had to uninstall Origin, reinstall it. 3 things would download, then it would stop. So I had to uninstall it, reinstall it. It would download. I ended up uninstalling and reinstalling probably 5 times just to get all the DLC to download.
Damn.
Oh.
It was obnoxious. Other than Origin, I've just been playing a lot more Valheim. I'm really enjoying that game. It's just an easy, mindless, hey, all right, I need to go mine some ore. Let's go out there, swing a pickaxe while watching something.
Yeah. I downloaded it last week, and was it first of all, I wasn't expecting it to be 500 megabytes.
Yeah.
So it downloaded like in 2 minutes, and I thought the file was corrupted or something happened, because I didn't expect it to be that small. It definitely looks like it's not because it's not a graphics focused game. It looks very old school, very very polygony kind of deal. It's weird because it looks kind of potato graphics, but I like their art style. It's very minimalistic, very simple, but it works. It makes the game feel good. It makes the game feel fluent, and it makes it not be a big file. So I'm guessing like they're gonna make it work on mobile and stuff like that, because it's so lightweight.
Yeah, I was looking. It's made on Unity, so very easy to turn it into a mobile game. But it's also early access, so I've had a lot of experience with early access developers making a game, and it's just horrible potato 8-bit graphics, and then after a year of early access and they get all the bugs and kinks worked out, they release the HD texture packet that's like 20 plus gigs and brings it into the modern day graphics. So that's what I'm expecting will happen.
And for it being such a small file, there's a lot of content in there. I've seen some stuff a lot of people have made, and I mean, people are building huge castles with long boats and all sorts of crap, and I'm just in a little wooden hut. Like I'm just now able to make metal. It's just kind of a nice mind-numbing side game to play in between watching something, or like I said, I'm probably gonna dive in pretty deep into Mass Effect 2 because the remake's just a little too long. I mean, it's still coming out in May, I think. We're gonna get into the news. There's not a whole lot. It's a lot of disappointing news, in my opinion. I guess some exciting stuff from Sony. PSVR will be coming to PS5. I'm not sure.
Wireless?
I don't believe so.
No, there will be one wire that still goes to the PlayStation.
Oh, okay. I mean, I haven't even tried the regular PSVR. That's not something I really care about personally, but
I'm excited for like the future of VR, but from what I've seen, it's not there yet, so I'm not going to invest in it.
Yeah, I mean, in the ones that are there, like I've heard the index is really well. I mean, you're gonna pay a lot of money. Something I'm not willing to do. But some semi-exciting news from Sony is they have announced that Days Gone will be coming to PC, as well as they plan on other Sony exclusives. Might be kind of cool. One that I would like to see is Bloodborne. I don't think that'll happen, but that'd be neat.
I hope that they plan on porting a lot more, because I don't get to play PlayStation games unless it's on PS Now or no, that's it. So like, if it doesn't come out for PC, I don't get to play these games. So
I mean, I'm sure it's a hard decision for them, because, for example, if every single PlayStation exclusive came out on PC, I wouldn't have a PlayStation. I would just have my PC.
Well, these all seem to be games that have been out for at least over a year that they're porting over. So I think at this point they're getting diminishing returns, and so they're getting a new market. But
yeah, exactly. There's going to be more people buying it. Some more sad news if you're an Anthem fan. BioWare has announced that they are canceling Anthem 2.0.
Oh no.
And they're going to be putting resources towards Dragon Age 4, which they have announced will be a single player only game now. It's not
Anthem.
Honestly, I enjoyed Anthem. I played through it. The story was okay. The flying around felt amazing.
How long did you play it for?
I'm probably less than 20 hours. I mean, it wasn't.
Did you finish
it? It wasn't a lot. Yeah, I finished the story, and I was really excited because it was supposed to be a live service game.
Yeah.
They had a couple dungeons which were kind of cool. It's just, the roadmap kind of became non-existent. So I fell off of it. I think it would have been really cool if they would have done an Anthem 2.0, but let's be honest, I'm a bigger fan of Dragon Age than I am Anthem. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, same for me. And I've played Destiny before, and it felt kind of like that. So and I'm not really a fan of Destiny. I tried the first one, enjoyed it a bit, but I'm not a fan of the whole games as a service thing. So I didn't even look at that one.
I mean, now it might be worth it just because you could probably find it for super cheap. But
yeah, now that they've given up on it and they're not doing anything for it at all, and like you should give it a shot.
Hey, if you can find it for $5-10, the storyline's probably worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a multiplayer game without players, but it works.
I mean, I completely played it single player, except for the couple dungeons or whatever the heck they're called in that game.
I mean, honestly, I played it online, and most people just go about their own way anyway. Yeah. Like, as soon as you go into an area, everyone just disperse. So, because the first thing you want to do is fly. You don't want to fly in like a, flying V. Like, you just want to go and, explore. So,
yeah, exactly. Let's see some more EA stuff. They have announced they're going to be taking a more hands-off approach going forward after the success of Fallen Order and Star Wars Squadron, plus with the failure of Anthem.
That's the reason why I kind of brought this up. Is it seems like Fallen Order and Anthem had kind of a dominoes effect for different reasons. Where Fallen Order was, so back when I was reporting on video games, I actually got to cover this story. And when EA bought Respawn, in the contract, Respawn had it stated that they get to make a Star Wars game of their choosing that they've already been working on. And EA is not allowed to touch it. They have no say over this game. They can't, make them monetize it in any specific way, no loot boxes, all that good stuff. It ended up being a commercial success. Yeah. And then you had Anthem that took like 8 years of development. I think it was something like that. It was something insane like that. And it was supposed to be a live service game, and it was supposed to monetize the hell out of the game and all that stuff. I don't know if I could say that. Heck. Okay. I don't know if that's a curse word or not. So like basically, and I don't know what's going on with EA right now, if they're restructuring or what's going on, but they've basically decided that the live service thing wasn't as successful as they thought it was going to be. Solo games are doing pretty well. So now they're leaving all that kind of decision up to the studio. So we're going to see if, companies that people were like, oh, that's just EA ruining the game. We're going to see if it really was EA or not. If it really was these studios monetizing their own games and they just happened to be under the EA umbrella, or if it really was EA making all these decisions.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think the BioWare stuff was mainly EA, obviously. I haven't talked to anyone at BioWare, but that's definitely what it seems like. And the other thing,
it depends on what you mean by that. Like what things at BioWare?
Oh, I definitely the Anthem, all the monetization that they were trying to do in it. I mean, they still have microtransactions in the game that's failing.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing I would say is, unfortunately, for EA, the two games that they have been successful on are Star Wars, which they no longer own the rights to making Star Wars games.
And so, I think that was a rude awakening.
I'm excited to see if this has any effect in the Battlefield games going into the future.
Oh yeah.
Because, Battlefield 5 was terrible. Like, no one will say Battlefield 5 was a good game.
Battlefield 5 was a good game.
I mean, come on, even the developers abandoned ship halfway through. Like, they just came out and they're like, hey, we're no longer supporting this game. And we're like, wow. This was supposed to last another 2 years. I mean, they literally made it through the first major content, patch, and most Battlefield games have 4 or 5 different, content DLCs or whatever. And Battlefield 5 had, I think, 1. They got into the Pacific Theater, and then they were just like, all right, we're going to release 3 maps for the Pacific Theater, and everyone hates this game, so we're done. We're just not going to keep going. And they finally had someone on, I think it was Reddit, one of the EA or the Battlefield 5 DICE community managers, came out and they're just like, hey, the reason that we can't fix any of the complaints that you guys have is because we don't have the technology to do it. We were hindered in the development process. And basically it sounded like they were trying to blame EA without, blatantly saying EA, forced us or forced our hand in this. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen because DICE has been really good. Like DICE has really good developers. The potential's always been really good, but they've gotten just worse and worse. And Battlefield 5 was huge on the monetization. It was just kind of like an EA theme. So I'm, like everyone was quitting Battlefield 5 because of all the hackers. Like they're just stupid amounts of cheating in the game. The developers came out and said there was no anti-cheat. They didn't have the technology to develop one for the game. So there literally was no anti-cheat engine in the game.
That's good.
And instead of trying to do something to make the game better or fix like auto balance or something, they released skins, cosmetics, things that you could buy with real money. And like that was, everyone just kind of like abandoned ship after that one. So I'm hoping that maybe the future of EA will be a little bit better.
I mean, I know a lot of people are being very optimistic about it, but I'm kind of taking the opposite approach of like, what if it wasn't EA this whole time? Like, what if the studios that we all liked and we're like, oh, EA is ruining those great studios. What if it wasn't EA? And the other issue is with EA not having as much say on the games themselves, you have to assume that they're not going to throw as much money at these games as they were before. Like, I'm sure one of the stipulations of we'll give you tens of thousands of dollars to do this part of the game, but only if you monetize it in a way that we think we're going to get our money back. And without that happening, I kind of wonder, some of these studios might honestly kind of up and fail without that kind of cash coming in. And without because as much as all of us as gamers hate, loot boxes and, these predatory monetary things, they make a lot of money off of it and it's very successful. And I mean, they do it for a reason. And without that, I wonder, will they make it?
There's better, like, there's ways to do it that don't make it feel like you're being screwed. Like, Apex Legend, I'm going to use that one as an example because EA had no involvement in Apex Legends at all. It was, completely done by the developing team and then was, put out. And it was like the biggest success they've had in, 10 years, 15 years?
That was also Respawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was just like no, like EA had like almost no involvement in that at all. And then boom, biggest game they've had in history, basically. And the loot boxes in that aren't bad. Mm-hmm. I don't mind loot boxes that are like Fortnite loot boxes or, Apex Legends or how Smite does it. They're cosmetic based. It doesn't really change the fundamentals of the game. It just makes it look prettier. It's eye candy. But then you had Battlefront when it launched, and the loot boxes. I mean, it was, you want to have the better gun, pay for it. Well, if you want to have the better gun, you can buy, 5,000 loot boxes, and there's like a 10% chance that 1 out of every 300 might have that gun. So like that's how Battlefront was.
You mean surprise mechanics?
Yeah, like it's
surprise mechanics. You guys heard about that, right?
Yeah.
Overseas where they're getting sued and they're like, we don't call them loot boxes. We call them surprise mechanics. Everyone's like, you've literally never called them that.
It's never not gambling, it's surprise. But like that's the kind of stuff I hate. I have no problem, with loot boxes and spending money on cosmetics and stuff because, I want to. It doesn't change the game. But when it's like, here, you need to drop $500 for a chance at getting the best gun in the game, nope, I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. That's definitely for sure. We just got some other smaller ones here. Republic Commando, they're going to be re-releasing for PS4 and Switch. I'm kind of excited about it. I played Republic Commando back on the Xbox, and it was a fun game. I'm not sure the nostalgia holds up like maybe some of the other Star Wars games that they've been releasing, but yeah, we'll see.
I did not know they were redoing Republic Commando. I love that game. I have a freaking emulator on my laptop so I can play it. That is one of my all-time favorite games.
Well, they're not redoing it, they're just porting it.
Yeah, I think they're just porting it like they did
yeah.
What'd they do? Jedi Knight 1 and 2?
Oh, so it's not like a remaster. They're just oh man.
Yeah, they're just porting it. Yeah. Which, like I said, they've done with a couple other Star Wars games here recently.
Man, you have no idea. You gotta be so excited. I don't know if you are listening to this and you've never played it, go play it. It was one of the only or like the first squad-based Star Wars games ever, and it was amazing. I loved it. Like, it was actually really, really well done for its time.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it, and I might get the port just for nostalgia's sake. But let's see, some other game stuff. Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed to 2022 from 2021. And really, that's not a huge surprise to me, with the pandemic and development issues, and that seems like a pretty big scope of a project that they have with that.
And there's a huge problem going on with like the behind the scenes that we won't get into, obviously, but like, that means this is going to be a massive commercial success. Oh, because any game that has that kind of controversy behind it just gets like free publicity. So look at Battlefront 2, which everybody was like, "Oh, we're not gonna loot boxes. We're not gonna," and it outsold every Star Wars game ever because like everybody was talking about it. So
yeah.
What controversy does it have?
I don't know that we should get into it really.
I think that all that I've heard is there's some stuff going around J.K. Rowling. I would maybe look that up if you're interested. But
there's one member on the development team, like one of the head people who has said some pretty controversial stuff in the past. Currently, actually, I think he has a YouTube channel, and he's
sounds like a maybe smart. But other than that, we had what was that a Nintendo Direct? Another one for some Pokemon games that they announced.
It was just a Pokemon Direct. So.
Oh, okay. Was it Gold and Silver remakes? Is that what it was?
Ruby and Diamond?
No, Ruby and Sapphire are the gen before that. Oh, is it Ruby and Sapphire? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, then that makes me excited.
Yeah. But it's like brilliant. So I don't remember. I've already lost count.
We're so good at this.
Obviously, we're not huge fans of Pokemon.
I mean, I am, but these remakes things aren't really doing it for me. So
no,
I'm a bit excited about the other one they announced. The one that it's
Legends.
Like, it's kind of like in the past. It's more RPG. It's more of an RPG kind of deal. It seems like they base it kind of on Breath of the Wild. They went for that art style and that open world kind of gameplay. It doesn't look as good as Breath of the Wild did, at least not in the trailers, but it looks interesting enough that I may try it.
Yeah, it's definitely got some mobile game graphics going on there, but it looks really cool. And it's like one of the first games where you can actually just throw your Pokeball without doing any battling first. You can just sneak up on it and throw it from, the grass or whatever, to sneak up on a Pokemon. So that's actually kind of interesting to me. You don't have to battle it you can obviously to weaken it, but you could just try sneaking up on it. I mean, I'm a big Pokemon fan. It's just that with the remakes, which I'll probably still play, they're just not really. I played the originals, so going back and playing these new ones, which they're not improving, they're just changing the graphics. So I guess that's an improvement. But like Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, like were basically like they took a game that was already super simple, which is just rock, paper, scissors. And then they're like, let's make it even more simpler. So now you throw your Pokeball with like the Joy-Con, and it's just like, and that's, I think they're going to do that again with these new remakes. So I forget which ones they are already. Brilliant something and Shiny something else or something like that. I don't remember. But.
Yeah, it's funny because Pokemon games make so much money for Nintendo, like a whole lot of money. And I think they should, at the very least, improve their graphics so they are on par with other other console exclusives. But they don't. They keep the same art style. They keep the same camera. Like they don't. I don't think they innovate enough. And because they could capitalize on that. Like if they made a Pokemon game that looked like regular, like it looked like Dragon Age or Skyrim or something like that, they would make a whole lot more money because they would get every single Pokemon gamer that just dropped the games, but they don't want to do that. They just want to keep doing the exact same thing, which is good, but it gets stale and it gets boring. Like if you play all of them, they are basically the same.
Well, also, despite how much money Pokemon makes, being one of the biggest franchises, Game Freak, which is the company that makes these games, is super small. They're very small. I think they're under 100 employees.
Oh wow!
And the remakes aren't even done by them. They're done by another studio, so probably an even smaller studio that isn't doing anything at this time, which is why the remakes don't change anything. But yeah, Game Freak is a very small company, so that's why they're just constantly reusing assets and slightly improving them.
Sometimes I feel like Nintendo just doesn't like money.
Yeah,
they
like it so
like
much they're very smart because they're like, yeah, if we put out this trash, people are gonna buy it.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Like there's so many questionable business choices they've made in the past. I don't know. Like they, I don't know if it's the culture or what, but they sure seem like they don't like money.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on to the next story, just to clarify, it is Diamond and Pearl they're remaking.
Okay, I know. Yeah, well,
just in case anybody is listening to this and yelling at us right now for saying other games.
yeah. God,
also
just swore at myself.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife is very pissed off that we're not getting it.
Probably. Gotta be kidding me. That's the wrong Pokemon. We did have a Sony State of Play. It was about as exciting as the Nintendo Direct earlier in the week. They also showed the same dodgeball game that looks like hot trash, in my opinion. I mean, okay, cool. But they did announce the Final Fantasy remake, Intergrade, which is the part 2 of the remake.
It's not really.
Okay, well, it's the part 2 of theirs.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So I've been looking into it. It's basically just an upgrade of the PS4 version. Like they are upgrading it for PS5, and they are adding an extra character with a small episode dedicated to them. But it's not the part 2 we're waiting for. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I thought this was part 2, so excuse me.
Yeah, there was a lot of confusion because that trailer was not clear.
No, it wasn't.
I was watching it going, is this a new level? Is this a new character? Is this what are we doing here? And they did not make it clear. And then they named it something fancy, Intergrade or whatever. It's like, now you've really not made it clear what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like Final Fantasy Remake Special Edition or Definitive Edition, something like that.
Well, that's definitely not as exciting. I will say what's exciting, though, is they did announce the PS Plus games for March, which one of them is the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I haven't played, so I'm really excited for. The other game I'm excited for is Remnants from the Ashes, which is like a shooter Souls-like. So
have you played the original Final Fantasy VII?
No, I'm not. I really haven't played much Final Fantasy, to tell you the truth.
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you played the remake? No, because you don't have a PlayStation.
No. Wow, I feel like I just got insulted in that question. Did you play the remake? No.
Well,
yeah, I have also only played the remake. I didn't play the original PlayStation 1 game, but I know there's actually some stuff that it's different. There's some alterations, and they make it work in the lore. So it's still surprising for people that already played the first one.
Just as a fun backstory, it was one of my only ever PlayStation games I've ever played. And I wasn't aware that at the time you had to have a memory pack. So I got really far, like hours, probably even days worth, because I just kept PlayStation going and then died. And I gave up on PlayStation. I was like, wow, I'll never go through that again. So like, because there's no way to go back to it. I did hours of that game and it was just done. It was just, I didn't save because there was no save spot. So
that's enough to.
Did you finish it?
No, I never went back. I died, and I was very far in. And I mean, I'm talking like, because that game was long. And I remember playing, I was probably up to like 12, 13 hours, whatever, and then died because there's an area where you just, every 5 steps you take, you're attacked by an enemy. and it's supposed to be really challenging, and it was too challenging, and I didn't know that going into it because up until that point the game had been super easy. And then I just died, and I'm over here looking for all the save areas, and there isn't one. You had to have a memory pack, and I didn't know that. And so I was like, you know what, I'm done with PlayStation, and I threw it in the trash. No, I didn't do that, but like I did use that as a DVD player for a while. That was it.
Beat it with a hammer.
Yeah.
I only played, I don't even remember which one it was. It was for the PlayStation 1 back when I was a wee little tot. I cannot remember which one it was, but I didn't finish it, and that's the only Final Fantasy game I ever played.
I played a little bit of the MMO. It's not bad. Just a couple more news stories. These are quick, easy movie updates. They finally gave a title to the new Spider-Man movie, which is Spider-Man No Way Home. Kind of cool they gave it a title. I mean, there's not much else to say about that.
Yeah.
And they did announce a new Superman movie directed by JJ Abrams, and Henry Cavill is expected to sign. I don't really care about JJ Abrams.
That news has changed quite a bit in the past 48 hours.
Oh,
originally it was that he was supposed to sign back on a Superman, and then they're like, no, he's not signing on. And then they're like, it's probably going to be Michael B. Jordan. So no one knows what's going on. All the rumors are crazy right now. Everyone's just making assumptions left and right. All we know is that it's JJ Abrams and then a different writer. That's all we really know.
Well,
JJ Abrams has never released a bad movie.
We're all silent because we're not sure if we're being sarcastic.
Well, no, I mean like box office wise.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, box office wise, yeah.
Just to be clear, like I am a super fan of JJ Abrams, but I know that everybody else isn't. So,
well, I'm saying like box office wise, like maybe I'm not thinking of the right person right now because I'm.
No, you're right. Every movie he's done has been a box office success,
and they all look the same.
Yeah, well, it's debatable.
He's the flare light guy.
Yeah, he's the shiny.
Yeah, if you see flare lights on a movie, it's probably him.
Yeah, okay. I was making sure. Yeah, no, like every single movie he's released, which I'm not a fan of half the movies he's done, but they've all been absolutely amazing in the box office. So
that's why he keeps getting work. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, he destroyed Star Wars, he destroyed Star Trek," and it's like not according to the studios. He made bank, so like of course they're going to keep bringing him back.
Yeah.
But,
Transformers.
I mean, I like the way his movies look. I like the whole trailer vibe of the whole movie, but I know I'm also alone on that. So
no, I don't think he's bad.
I like how they look. I know people meme on it, but he makes them look pretty and otherworldly.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when there are like sci-fi and stuff like that, they make it look like sci-fi. It looks like kind of like fantasy, and I like that.
I like that he plays with the cameras. Like all of them just have something different about them. I don't know.
I think that's the camera operator.
Smart ass.
I know that he did apologize for Star Trek because of all the lens flares. He actually I did come out on Twitter and was like, I am really sorry for all the lens flares. He did overdo it like crazy, but
yeah, they were not bad movies. That honestly, that was my introduction into Star Trek.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, when I found out it was JJ Abrams, I watched it and I thought it was pretty cool, and I didn't realize why until someone had made the observation that it was just A New Hope. So like that's why I liked it, but you know, it was okay.
We'll see with Superman. We'll see what happens.
He's also just a producer. He's not directing or writing. So
okay.
I may have put in the notes that he's directing, but he's not. He's producing.
Yeah, they just said, "Hey, how about we put your name on there because we know it'll blow the box office."
Yeah.
I think that's all of our news. So we'll get into Tech Talk with Fred. On the notes here, I believe that's not actually what we're talking about.
Yeah, so we're changing it up a little bit because we decided, Tim and I were talking, and both of us are really big into cooking.
Okay, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Still going with the original topic.
I think he doesn't have the notes open.
Oh, I don't. Oh, do I need to know what's in the notes?
In
Mommy
order to
and
get the
daddy
joke, you
toys.
kind of have to. But
All right. Well, I'm going to look those up here in a minute, but I'm just going to keep talking and try and recover anyway.
Tim and I are really big into this topic. Don't group me into this.
No.
We don't have a mutual agreement on this.
What you guys do outside of the podcast is between you guys.
Apparently, we were talking about it quite a bit.
Fred must have just read the notes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, man.
While he's laughing, I think he said we were going to talk about kitchen tech, not sex toys.
This whole section's getting edited. Ooh, okay.
Good thing we're not monetized right now because we just got demonetized instantly.
Oh man. All right, back on topic. So gonna talk about kitchen stuff because I don't know about Clay. Well, I know Trey can't cook to save his life.
Yeah, that's true. Frozen pizza.
Yeah, actually, I know Clay can't either. That dude likes to burn his steaks all the way through. But
I'm learning. I'm changing that. But
Good,
yeah,
good.
I don't cook nearly enough.
Yeah, so I love to cook. I'm obsessed with the kitchen. I have considered many times taking a career in that field, but I don't hate myself. So that's never going to happen. But I've met many, like Food Network stars. It's a hobby and a passion of mine outside of my, day-to-day work life. So we decided we can cover some cooking, kitchen tips and tricks and whatnot as we continue, because I guess, with families and whatnot, it can be difficult to cook, kind of annoying. It's hard to spice it up, pun intended, because, no one wants to spend hours prepping and cooking. You just kind of want to throw stuff together and go about your business. So I think today Tim and I were just kind of go back and forth on, prep stuff. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have like any of these massive like gadgets. I tried to find some really like cool things to help with prepping, but there was really nothing to like that's worthy of mentioning, saying like, hey, go buy this like an Arlo. But I highly recommend, like, I have a massive cutting board. I finally upgraded from my crappy little plastic one to a, it's not expensive. It was like $25. I just never bought one. It is a massive, like 12-inch by like 20-inch bamboo cutting board. It is huge, but it's so nice having a massive surface to, work with. And then sharp knife. Like that's about the only thing I can like off the top of my head for prepping that I think everyone should have. And like knives, sharpen your dang knives. Like, no, he's basically my stepdad. He had a set of knives. I can't remember what they were. They were, I think Boston cutlery. So they were, good quality, but he bought them back in, 1970. And he was like, yeah, I don't think I've ever sharpened these ever. I use them every day, never sharpened them. It took me about a week and a half.
That was back when they were made out of stone, right?
Yeah, seriously. And it took me like a solid week working on them, an hour or so a day to get them sharp again, because they were dull. They weren't even dull. I had to put a new edge on them, completely like put a new edge with, Japanese whetstones. And he just commented on him. He was like, wow, I didn't realize how much, a sharp knife makes a difference. And it's like, well, duh.
Did he call you screaming because he chopped off his fingers because he wasn't expecting it to actually work? And
Like,
you
thankfully,
made them too sharp.
I was actually worried about that because like he picked it up and like the first thing he did was like ran his finger across it and it was just like
Did they really get sharp?
it's just like these are razor sharp. Thanks.
Yeah, before that he just smashed his food with knives and hope they.
Well, I mean, like, okay. Do you guys sharpen your knives?
No, I just buy a whole new set.
Well, I mean, but really though, like Trey, like, do you guys, ever like take time to sharpen them?
No.
Yeah.
But most of ours are actually ceramic knives. I need to get an actual knife set.
Yeah, I wasn't being sarcastic. I buy a new knife set like yearly. I don't sharpen mine.
I mean, okay, like that is like a point. Like even if you buy a new one every year, they still go dull. Like I sharpen my knives.
Yeah.
I try to hone it every time before you use it, and honing is just the if you have the honing blade, it's the round fire poker looking thing that's in the chopping block.
Yeah,
Bobby Flay, is that you?
Yeah. So I mean, like, use one of those, keeps it sharp, and it'd be like you want to have a really sharp knife because it makes it so easy. Like I hate prep work because it takes forever, but having a dull knife makes it so hard.
Yeah.
So like if you're spending forever trying to cut potatoes and whatnot, get a sharp knife. Or if you don't want to use a knife, get a mandolin. However, be very careful with those.
I haven't watched
Kitchen
Mandalorian yet.
Har har. But like, with mandolins, I like them, but they also terrify me, which is why I don't use them. I would much prefer to use a knife. But if you're pressed for time and you don't want to spend that much time in a kitchen, a mandolin will definitely help out with prep. I mean, make sure you use the guard. And I don't know if you're listening to this and you don't even know what a mandolin is.
Yeah, I just googled it and there's this weird guitar thing that showed up.
Oh, that's about the other topic. That's a mood setter.
No, it's basically just kind of a plastic cutting board that has blades built into it. So instead of using the knife to chop an onion or a potato, you take the whatever it is you want to slice and you just run it back and forth, kind of like a cheese grater, over this, and it's got razor sharp blades. And if you're not careful, it will take a finger. Like, I mean, people get injured on those all the time because they're not paying attention.
I do have one, and it does make me extremely nervous. Like, no one's allowed to touch it but me.
Yeah, I mean, they're crazy sharp. Clay, can you see it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah, so like using those they speed up a lot. I mean, if you're trying to cut a whole bunch of stuff, it can take you a minute to cut everything for dinner.
Side note, Fred just showed us a picture of one. You can't see him.
Oh yeah,
So just look it up.
Yeah, that was great for podcast form.
Yeah, I mean that was mainly for you guys.
It's all right.
that's true.
I'll edit it into it. It's okay.
That's fine.
Not you, but a picture of that.
I was gonna say if that's how you're gonna do it, just my grainy phone over a grainy camera.
But no, I have actually 3 of those, different sizes for different things to be slicing. And like I had them put above my refrigerator in a cabinet that has one of those childproof locks on it, even though all my kids are grown. But just because like I don't trust them to go up there and reach for something and just pull their hand back and just slice right through it, because those things are sharp. They're extremely dangerous. But I prep cucumbers and vinegar a lot using that, because I love cucumbers and vinegar, and that has been a lifesaver. Because I used to just cut it with a knife, and it'd take me forever. And now I can get done in about 60 seconds.
Yeah, they're crazy. I mean, that's why they're used in the restaurant business. I mean, that's literally what most restaurants use. They have like the industrial produce mandolins, and they just slice through hundreds of pounds very quickly. So you have those. There's dime a dozen for different types of prep tools, which is why I kind of didn't really want to mention too many, but like that one works. And then they also have the like instant chop. I don't exactly know what you call them because they all have different names, but basically they're the ones that have like the multiple blades. You put like the onion or the potato on it and just like slam the
Oh yeah.
It's like
the
a
liver
guillotine, but for veggies.
Yeah. I've used those. If you can splurge and buy one of the super expensive high quality ones, they're really nice. But I'm not about spending $100+ for a niche little gadget, because they work when you get the really expensive ones because they're made out of like high industrial steel, really nice. But the cheap ones are just bad. And you like end up breaking it. You get stuff stuck in it, and it just defeats the purpose. Plus, cleaning it's a nightmare.
I would say the cheaper you go with that kind of things, the cleaning is ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's like the one thing about kitchen stuff that kind of is annoying, that you need to find a good balance between, you don't need the high end, professional grade products, but if you're buying a mandolin for 75 cents, probably is not going to be that good. Expect it to break, or yeah. So like for prep, mandolins are probably my recommendation for people trying to speed up the process. And then one little gadget that I have that I actually wanted to mention, it's not really for prep, but it can be, I guess. I don't know. I don't have, my first house didn't have space in the kitchen. We were just super limited in space, tiny little kitchen. And I wanted to have a food processor. I wanted to have those things because food processors are so nice. And KitchenAid makes it's a handheld mixer, or stand mixer, I guess, that comes with multiple attachments, including a mini food processor. Like, it's just like a tiny little 2-quart food processor that attaches to the bottom of the stand mixer. So it's perfect to make salsas and dip and small little things that you're trying to mince up. It had a like whisk attachment and then the blender attachment. And it was only like $50 on Amazon. And it was KitchenAid, so it's not bad quality. That thing, lifesaver. For having a tiny kitchen, you could have like have a miniature food processor, a miniature stand mixer. It was nice. I don't know. I like. Do you, other than the mandolin, like, do you use anything?
No, that was actually, when I had brought that up to you, was what I was going to go with. So when you brought it up, I was like, crap, that was the one thing I had written in my notes. Anybody, I mean, I know we're talking about tech here, but anybody who has been in my kitchen knows I have 2 cabinets full of Tupperware because of how much we just like prep. Like when I leave and my kids are home alone, if I don't, they eat ramen noodles. So like I have to prepare meats that, I boil chicken, I'll bake chicken, whatever I gotta do, cut it up, put it in the Tupperware. So I've got Tupperware just like everywhere. So that was the other thing I was going to bring out, was just how much, I got for storage. And I also do airlock bags as well for a lot of my meat, just because if you put it in Tupperware, it's going to go bad a lot faster. But
one of the things I've been wanting to buy, and I just haven't gotten around to it because it's a niche item, but I really want to get like a vacuum sealer, because you mentioned the airlock bags. So like I've been wanting to get a vacuum sealer for sealing stuff in, because you get, it's always cheaper to do bulk in the long run, but buying bulk stuff doesn't last, at least not in my house. Things just go bad.
Yeah.
And if it's in the fridge, or sorry, if it's in the freezer, sometimes when I thaw it out, it's all frostbitten and just nasty. So I've been really wanting to get a vacuum sealer.
That's the problem with buying certain things that you like, especially in the kitchen, when you think, we go through a lot of that. So you buy a lot of it and then you don't go through any of it. And then like it all goes really bad. I've noticed that with like milk, for instance. We went through a lot of milk this week. So we'll buy like an extra one and then no one has any milk for the entire week.
That happens
all the time.
Again, without fail. Like we'll go through phases. Mine was yogurt. I went through a phase where I was just really enjoying having just a strawberry yogurt with breakfast, and splurged and bought a whole bunch of yogurt. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this. I didn't touch it. None of it, all went bad. And it was just like, And of course, as soon as it goes bad, I'm like, oh man, I could go for some yogurt. So we just like end up repeating the vicious cycle. Thankfully, my kid likes yogurt, so we just shove it in her mouth and she's happy.
Yeah. That's the one thing about Tupperware too that I've had to experience with my kids and my wife, is that if you put it in Tupperware and put it in the refrigerator, they consider that leftovers, and they don't like eating leftovers, even though you just made it and you just put it in storage and it's fresh. If you're like, yeah, I made supper, it's in the refrigerator, all you gotta do is get it out and eat it, they're like, I don't like leftovers. So like it all goes to waste, unfortunately. But
you ever had something in the kitchen or in the fridge that you forgot was in there, and then you like open the fridge one day and you just look at the Tupperware container, you're just like, I can afford new Tupperware.
all the time that happens. Yeah. We had wagon wheel soup one time that had been in there for I think by about 6 months. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather just throw it away than open that and smell it. So
oh man. We're actually having to buy some new Tupperware just because we've done that so often.
Yeah.
We'll just forget something's in there because it'll get pushed to the back of the fridge, and then you've got to clean it out one day and you're just like, how long's that been in there?
Yeah.
Hey, what did we eat that was green? And I was just like, pretty sure that was vegetable beef stew.
Pretty sure that was chicken.
Oh God. Nothing's worse than when onions go bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. For prep at least, there's not really too many things. There's too many gimmicky items out there, especially if you watch like Food Network and whatnot, or you see all the TV ads. There's just a bunch of gimmicky stuff. I mean, basically all you really need is if you have a lot of stuff to do and you're in a hurry, or if you've got mandolin's really nice if you've got bad hands, you got arthritis or something, because they do have the mandolin guards, so make sure you actually use it. But those are fantastic to fly through prepping a lot of stuff. If you are scared of one, which healthy degree of respect and fear is okay with those guys, because they will mess you up. Good quality knife that you keep sharp. And cutting board. I mean, that's basically all you need for prep work.
Yeah, we probably could have went more into depth in this had I done any notes other than the one thing you had brought up. So
I looked. I spent the last couple of days really looking, trying to find stuff to talk about regarding prep, because I mean, this stuff really excites me. But there wasn't really anything that was mainly about prep. Like I could talk about a KitchenAid mixer and whatnot, but that's not prep.
Yeah.
When it comes to actual prep stuff, you've got.
Well, this is just the beginning. We'll go on tangents in future weeks. So.
Oh no, we will. But I mean, like, I didn't want to get on here and start talking about gimmicky things like, oh, get a slap chop. That's kind of the stuff that prep's got is a lot of those gimmicky items like slap chops and stuff.
Yeah, I hate to backtrack here, but Clay, have you really not watched The Mandalorian?
No, I haven't. I watched the first episode. And
you're off the show.
Wait, I thought you were just trolling. You've really never seen it?
No, I haven't. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fans. I have watched old movies, but
unfollow.
But yeah, I know The Mandalorian is good. I want to see it. I watched the first episode and I like it. I just
This is no longer like a show about dads talking about stuff. This is now going to be a show about hazing Clay and chronologically, logging his adventures through the Mandalorian experience.
I do want
that's
to
what
see
it is.
I do want to see it. I'm just trying to get my wife into it because she doesn't like Star Wars at all.
So next week when we do this, you have to you're gonna do one episode a week, and you're gonna tell us about it, the experience happening. You have no choice in this matter anymore.
So yeah, what happens is when I have free time, like for myself, I like to play video games. So I only watch TV shows with her because if I have the time, I just always tend to just
Could
play.
we get
whatever
her on this show? I would love. No, I'm not even kidding. I would love to get both of you guys like to watch it every week and then come on and just like I want to hear the experience of her just being like, this was just garbage.
Yeah, she would
And
be
to
like,
open the segment, we want an
weird
apology
stuff.
every time.
why is there a green baby? Because I mean, aliens in Star Wars are very, very weird, and she doesn't usually watches stuff like that. So
I mean, I'll admit, if you're not big
sight
into
to
Star
behold.
Wars, this is probably not going to be that great for you. If I'm being honest, you
Did she
either
like
got to be into Star
okay.
Wars or Western tropes. So
Yeah, but she my sister doesn't like Star Wars, and her boyfriend got her into the Mandalorian, and she loved it. So I think there's a chance, maybe.
The Mandalorian's really good. I mean, like I have been really turned off by what Star Wars has turned into. I mean, the last I don't know what 4 movies basically everything they released recently, except for the Mandalorian and this is live action stuff. Trey, before you kill me, or Rogue One has been garbage.
you didn't like Solo?
No, Solo was terrible.
Oh.
I mean, I watched it, but man, the acting was just bad. I don't know if it was true, but I read multiple times that they had to have acting coaches on scene to like help them get through each scene.
Well, it's because they were mimicking other real life actors who are like, big actors. Like they like Billy D. Williams and Harrison Ford act a very specific way.
I know, but I mean, like, it was just not good. I don't know. Like, there are ways it could have been done. I mean, yeah.
I haven't watched Solo, and I haven't watched the last Rise of Skywalker. I think it's called.
It's not good. I'm sorry. I don't care. Like, I know it was a box office success, but because I mean, I went and saw it in theaters, and it was just bad. I mean, the acting wasn't good. Personally, I didn't think the acting was good. I have nothing against the actors and actresses. It just wasn't good for them, I guess. And then it's the same storyline. Like, why didn't they come up with something better or new? No, let's come up with the exact same storyline verbatim. Like, ooh, we're going to have a big, spooky, Earth-ending starship or space station, and we're going to blow it up by flying into a tiny hole and blowing up the core and then running away in this epic flyaway scene. And it's just like, this is...
Like, I thought we weren't talking about the other topic. Now we're flying into tiny holes.
Not so tiny anymore, but anyway. I'm done. But no,
Come on, Fred. This is a Christian podcast. Please behave.
I'm pretty sure none of us are religious on here.
If we were, we wouldn't be here on Sunday morning doing a podcast
Yeah.
at 8:00 in the morning.
That's true.
That's gonna be my excuse next week when you guys plan for an 8:00 Sunday thing. I'm gonna be like, I just found God.